CHILE Reception FA soggy Alexis Sanchez debut, Men City to dominate a port of call for Spurs. It is the fourth round of the FA Cup and we're down to the last 32 in the world's oldest and best cup competition. Don't forget that as well as a place in the fifth round there's also £90,000 in prize money for each winning team too. Us think United fans, that could pay a day's wages for Alexis Sanchez. All to play for then end. Yeovil Town v Manchester United. Friday, 7:55 p.m. What a game in prospect at Huish Park, cold, wet and soggy, all the ingredients for one of the great FA Cup upsets if you ask us. Of course, United will start as overwhelming favourites here, but then we said that when they played Bristol City in the League Cup, didn't we? The Glovers are the lowest ranked team still in the competition. They're 21st in League 2 and they'll be without former United trainee Otis Khan, whose injury time red card against Chesterfield last weekend saw him receive a whopping 5-match ban from the FA. Expect a much changed United side here with the likes of youngsters Scott McTominay, Angel Gomez and Axel Tuansby all coming into the reckoning. The big question is, will United roll out new signing Alexis Sanchez? Maybe, but expect him to start on the bench and then come on and score an ill-deserved winner in the dying minutes. Peterborough v Leicester. Saturday, 12:30 p.m. After coming through a tricky tie against Fleetwood in the last round thanks to a replay win at the King Power, Leicester now find themselves up against another lower league side in Peterborough. The Posh are pushing for the playoffs in League One and in Jack Marriott have the division's top scorer. A rumoured target for Crystal Palace and West Ham, the 23-year-old striker has bagged 18 in the league this term and 24 in all competitions. They'll do well to hold on to him. Leicester, meanwhile, will probably rest Jamie Vardy again in favour of the man whose 2 goals helped them past Fleetwood, Kelechi Iheanacho. But if he does play, he could well find himself up against defender Alex Penny, who's actually a graduate of Vardy's V9 football academy. Funny old game, it. Southampton v Watford. Saturday, 3 p.m. 2 weeks ago, these two sides fought out a tasty 2-2 draw at Vicarage Road and they'll renew hostilities at Street Mary's, with both sides confident of booking their place in the next round. Why? Because they're both as bad as each other. Saints have just 1 win from 15 in the Premier League and have only kept 2 clean sheets in their last 20 matches too. Their home form's ropey too, having drawn 3 and lost 2 of their last 5 at Street Mary's. The visitors, meanwhile, are on a 5-match losing streak away from home, netting just the 2 goals in the process. Still, they'll be hoping for yet another new manager bounce as former Rubin Kazan coach Javi Gracia takes charge in the wake of Marco Silva's departure. Mind you, it's not exactly worked up to this point, has it? Middlesbrough v Brighton. Saturday, 3 p.m. If Southampton and Watford both have more pressing league concerns, so too do Brighton, whose lack of goals. They haven't scored in 7 away games and the league has seen them plummet down the table in recent weeks. The only bright spot in an otherwise lean spell was a 2-1 win over rivals Crystal Palace in the third round of the FA Cup at the Amex. Manager Chris Hughton made 8 changes for that game, so expect another much-changed side here. They can't be any worse than the first 11. After a win over Sunderland in the third round, Tony Pulisborough will be many tipsters' choice for an upset here, but given the way Brighton are playing at the moment, it wouldn't really raise many eyebrows if they do win. Newport v Spurs. Saturday, 5:30 p.m. The League Two side caused one of the shocks of third round when they knocked out Leeds United to reach this stage for the first time in 41 years. But this all hinges on the side that Mauricio Pochettino decides to put out at Rodney Parade. If the Spurs gaffer wheels out the big guns, then it could get ugly, but if he makes changes, like Leeds did, you'd never know. That said, Spurs should prevail, even with a handful of changes to their regular starting 11. There may also be game time for Toby Alderweireld, who looks set to return after the injury he picked up back in November. Liverpool v West Brom. Saturday, 7:45 p.m. Football? On a Saturday evening? Beach dancing or singing shows, that's for sure. I've got a feeling that this is going to be a cracker. Liverpool were flying until they came unstuck last weekend and had their 18-match unbeaten run ruined by Swansea.
No, I'm not a writer. Okay.
Jurgen Klopp's side were held to a goalless draw at Anfield by the Baggies back in December, so they know what to expect, but there will be changes, given that the Reds are still in 3 competitions. The Baggies, meanwhile, may have started to turn the corner under Alan Pardew, but if they are going to progress here, they're going to need to be the first team to win at Anfield this season. It's a big ask, as they say. Chelsea v Newcastle. Sunday, 1:30 p.m. Another all-Premier League tie-in, 2 managers cheesed off for their own different reasons. On paper, it's a game that you'd expect Conte's side to win at a canter, despite their League Cup defeats by Arsenal in midweek. Even without the injured Willian, they have, in Eden Hazard, a player at the very top of his game. Expect the Belgian to make the difference once more. After a 3-1 defeat at the beginning of December, Rafa Benitez returns to Stamford Bridge with no sign of the takeover happening nor any of those much-needed new recruits arriving to bolster his squad. So which manager will be smiling at the final whistle? Neither of them, if recent experience is anything to go by. Cardiff City v Manchester City. Sunday, 4 p.m. It's a sellout at the Cardiff City Stadium as the Premier League leaders drop by. You already know how this is going to go. City, the Manchester one, will have 75 of the possession. Cardiff will bank up and invite them on. City will play 937 passes to the Bluebirds' 119.